I know you're still processing, but we have a short time with you today, so we're going to move you forward. We're going to ask you to turn again so you can see the screen, and this time you're going to get out the other legal piece of paper. First thing you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half like a hot dog. Fold it in half like a hot dog. So you've got to fold it in half. We're going to start on the side that says Cite 6. So remember, we're developing our perspective. How are you, honey? I'm good. We're developing our perspective around Cite 6 and Cite 2. We're doing big picture. We don't want to get too close to those dots for pointillism. How many of you know the book If You Give a Mouse a Cookie? Yeah, if you give a mouse a cookie, he's probably going to want a glass of milk. He's probably going to want a mirror to look at his milk mustache. It's all about cause and effect. Cite 6 is all about cause and effect, and we're going to go backwards. We're going to start with the end, step 3, the part that we said we love step 3 because it's about children and learning. So the end of the year, one of the things you have to do is you have to report growth. At the end of the year, every teacher will have to report growth. So that's the end of the year. We don't know if it's May or April. That's in the decision-making rules that have not happened yet. But you're going to report student growth. Special ed teachers, elective teachers, everybody reports growth on their kids. If I'm going to report growth, if you give a mouse a cookie, if I'm going to report growth, then I've got to move now to earlier in the year, and I need to have some baseline data. If I'm going to collect growth, I've got to know where they started. So you've got to have baseline data when you're in that step 3 process. We have baseline data, my elementary friends. We have it with the READ Act. We've been doing baseline data for years with Colorado Basic Literacy Act. We are all about where are these kids. This is where the elementary people breathe the best because we've been doing it. Collect baseline data to report growth of what? So you need, above that, you need what's called a student learning objective. What am I gathering growth on? So you have to have a student learning objective. Then you collect the baseline data. Step C will be new to us. In step C, you are going to set learning targets. Setting learning targets is not new. People have written books about how you set learning targets. So it's not a new practice. In fact, Marzano, years ago, wrote about how you can get a 33% gain when you are setting learning targets and the kids know where their target is and the teacher knows where their target is. 33% gain. So it's not new. In fact, this is where Austin, in his work with Rhode Island? New Hampshire. God dang it, I can't get the state yet. In New Hampshire, this is one of the things they've already done, is the learning targets. So what does it mean to set learning targets? You say, I look at my data, I got kids down here. They're not at grade level. This is where my special ed friends were going, woohoo! This is where our high transient at-risk kids, we go, yay, because we look at them here and we say, the kids who are here, 2 years below, whatever, they're going to grow to here. You set the target for kids who are below grade level. And then you set the target for kids who are here. And you say, if my kids are here on the baseline data in a year or in a unit, I expect them to be here. And if my kids are up here, and frankly, this is going to be the hardest one for this district, my kids are here, they're already above grade level, but they need to grow too. So where do I expect them to go? So all children grow. So you set the targets. Then you Teach and progress monitor. Who's moving? Who's not moving? Who moved a lot? Who surprised me? Who went on vacation? Who shouldn't have gone on vacation? This is when you are progress monitoring the growth of children. That's what you're doing during the year. So you can see how step 3 is about children, and we are excited about it because it's about all kids growing. Now, if you go back to step 1, we did this last year. Step 1 is divide your pie. I think we divided the pie till the cows came home last year. We divided into the 4 different sections. You heard Chris say we suggest 40-10, and we will talk to the principals more about that in depth when we do that last session with you guys. So you divide your pie. That's step 1. You divide it. Step 2, you say which measures go in my pie. Which are required by law, where am I going to put them? Which are optional, where am I going to put them? When we get to the inquiry piece, you are going to have cards that we've made for each grade where we've gone through and we've said, if you're a special ed teacher, here's what required. If you're an art teacher, here's what we've required. If you're a first grade teacher, here's what's required. And we put it in red. And then you'll see green that's blank, and those are optional. Here's where you have the conversation and you say, what assessments? Which measures are about what we are as a building? And those are the ones you put in. I value this work that Douglas County is doing because it is honoring choice, and that Meadowview, who has artful learning, could choose to put a task in there that honors who Meadowview is. If I want to have a very Rick Kindle and your technology-based and your science and your inquiry, you may have an assessment in there that really honors who you are. This is about choice. And we have a line in our office that we use often, and it goes like this. With choice comes challenges. So you're going to grapple with it and decide which measures you put in where. You won't leave with those decisions today, but you will feel more comfortable with the cause and effect of those decisions today. Now I want you to open it all up. Let's look at the relationship between Cite 2 and Cite 6. Remember the circle. Cite 2 is big. Cite 6 is small. What we want, what Jim Calhoun calls the sweet spot, we want to have our good Cite 2 be part and inform our Cite 6. We don't want you to stop and say, all learning will stop now, and then we're just going to step aside and do Cite 6. So at the beginning of the year, in the fall, this year it could be a little later because we're doing a slow rollout. But I'm going to look at maybe my interim or my summative. I'm going to look at a task that maybe I have up here in Cite 2, and I'm going to use it for baseline data. So if I'm progress monitoring writing, I might have a task that I do early in the year that I have kids writing, and I can use that data to set my targets. We don't want you to think it's something separate. We want you to think about the crossover. So I can use this for baseline data. And maybe I'm working on writing. I have my data. Now I get into my second unit. And by the way, we are not saying everybody has 4 units. This is just an example. Please don't think Jamie went out and said you do 4 units, because I didn't. So now I'm in my next unit, and I'm working on writing within that unit. And I might be progress monitoring a few of the writing skills. I don't have to eat the whole elephant all at once. I might be working on clarity or structure. I might be working on a couple of the skills, but I'm progress monitoring within my unit. And then I get to my next unit, and again, I'm progress monitoring who's moving, who's not moving, and I may change my focus in writing or reading or math, whatever you're progress monitoring. Now I get to the end of the year. I need a way, I need a measure or a task that I can gather that end of the year growth data. So I might have a task that we do in 5th grade where my kids do writing, and I can use it to get my end of the year data and use for growth targets. And again, the rules have not been made for our district for when those have to be reported.